What's up guys, Spin Firearms here, and today we're going to be comparing the new Springfield Armory Hellcat in 380 to other popular 380 pocket-sized guns or micro 380s like the LCP Max, which is personally my favorite pocket 380, the Bodyguard 2.0, and we're also going to have a feature from the original LCP, or in this case, this is the 10th anniversary edition, but it's the same size as the original, and then also the Bodyguard 1.0. And there's a reason why I'm going to be bringing those into the video. At first, I was pretty unsure of the Hellcat in 380. It didn't make sense to me. If you can't shoot a 9mm, I should say it like this. If you don't have hand problems and still can't shoot a 9mm, then you just need more practice. A 9mm Hellcat should be pretty easy for the average person to pick up. After a couple hundred rounds, they should get good with it. It really is what it is. Everything is about practice. The reason why a lot of people can't shoot guns is they don't shoot them enough. The Hellcat's a phenomenal gun. And the main reason I like this gun is, one, the size. You can make it 17+1 in 9mm or 11+1 pocket carry it. And on top of that, it is unbelievably reliable. It has a dual feed ramp in there, or a backup feed ramp, just in case a round nosedives, it'll catch it. Part of the reason why the Hellcat is so reliable. On top of that, it gives you everything you need right from the box. It comes with night sights, great texturing, a rail for one of the best lights on the market. You also right here have a gas pedal. On the other side, you have a memory pad and a great finish, but they made it in 380, so why go backwards? Someone like me who carries a subcompact 40 for main carry was confused by that. Why are so many guns going towards 380? And I understand it on one side, but the other side, I don't understand it. I want my shots to count the most with my first couple shots, right? I want that power to kick in immediately. But the point for 380 and guns like this, why I understand it, is you're getting a bunch more shots off than a 40 subcompact or whatever the case may be. You're going to get off more rounds of 380 than you would of 40. Therefore, that might make up for the power loss going to 380. Another reason why I noticed this is a great gun is they didn't make it ported and they kept it at a 3-inch barrel. So you're going to still get relatively decent ballistics. When you go down to a 2.75-2.75-inch barrel, obviously your ballistics go down and down, especially with a 380 already failing to open or expand with a hollow point. On top of that, you're compensating it, knocking off more velocity. You know, this was a solid idea because I was unsure. Why wouldn't they just make it as small as the other guns you see on the table? So today, let's go through them, let's compare them, talk about what I like about each, and which one is truly the best. Well, this, you can tell immediately compared to a 9mm Hellcat, the weight. So that's a big thing. It knocks off about 1.5 ounces, and then when you have a loaded mag, about another 1.5 ounces. So a total of 3 ounces with a loaded mag lighter than a 9mm. On top of that, this slide is much easier to rack due to the spring weight up front. It is much easier than your 9mm Hellcat. It's super smooth, it's super nice. I also noticed that the trigger is better than your regular Hellcat, at least on this model. Mine is lighter, and it feels about 1 pound lighter. And everybody knows with Hellcats, you shoot 500 rounds through it, it's a whole different gun in terms of the trigger. That's just how Springfields are. They really break down nice. So let's compare a couple options. Right here's the Bodyguard 2.0. This is 10+1 to 380. Right here on the left is 11+1 to 380, so you get an extra round. Notice how the slide is extremely thin lined. Having weight on your slide is what helps reduce some of the recoil. On top of that, obviously your spring rate and your guide rod. On top of that, just everything about the Bodyguard 2.0 is thinner, smaller, except the width of the grip in this dimension, right? Notice how it's wider on the Bodyguard, which is why a lot of people like it, because you can get a decent grip on it. One thing I really like about the Hellcat is they kept it the same width. Therefore, you can really get a good purchase on this gun. Plus, it's in 380. Plus, you have more mass on the slide and a longer barrel. This thing is a flat shooting gun without a compensator. On top of that, like I was speaking about, the backup feed ramp. That is a huge thing that many guns don't have. In 380s, they struggle with hollow points. With 380s, they struggle with screwdriver rounds, solid projectile defensive rounds. That's where that backup feed ramp comes in handy. This gun is going to eat every 380 you put through it. Now, notice the trigger guard size. Imagine it's wintertime, you live in a cold state, and you have a gloved finger. Look at the difference. Both are actually pretty solid, but the Bodyguard actually has a wider opening a little bit at the top, whereas the Hellcat at the bottom is more closed in. You come to the side here, and look at the difference. 10+1 on the right, 11+1 on the left. So you can see where the Hellcat has that extra round because it's a little bit longer. but look at the width. You can look at this many ways. This will fit better in the pocket. This is going to have better recoil control. Then the sights. That is one thing I don't like about the Bodyguard 2.0 is the sights. It is such a wide rear bracket, if you notice that. I get it's a self-defense gun, but it's so weird for accurate shooting. Self-defense, you're not going to be using sights, so it doesn't matter. But you see how wide that is? Springfield, once again, gives you the ball in a bucket sights, which are extremely easy to use. It just sticks out to your eyes. That big white line in the back, just like Glock sights, your eyes catch it immediately, drop that yellow ball in, and you're good. Plus they're tritium. But the Bodyguard 2.0 also has tritium. Up top, if we go like this, look at that major difference. That does matter in everyday carry. It really does. And then barrel to barrel, you can see that extra length, which will really help in terms of 380. On top of that, the Hellcat is more of an everyday carry, appendix carry gun, because it also comes optics ready to throw an optic on this. The Bodyguard that I have does not have optics cut. I believe they do make them with an optics cut. But with a gun this small, I would use it for pocket carry. So I'm not going to be pocket carrying an optic, but a lot of people are using this for a main carry, which is very interesting to me. Then you come over to the LCP Max. Sorry, I should use the holster the way it's supposed to be used. That's the Hog Holster Stash Holster, code SBN5 for 5% off. And then this is the Pard holster from them. This is an unbelievable design as well. You tie this to your belt buckle, or your belt line, and when you draw it, it comes right out of the pocket. But these are the best pocket holsters on the market. You can't beat them. And they're affordable, they're cheap. Code SBN for 5% off, like I said. You come over here, and you notice that the LCP Max looks a little bit thicker in many areas, other than the width of the grip. So once again, the Bodyguard stayed thin, but it still gives you enough to grab onto, which is very interesting and very smart by Smith & Wesson. Up top, the LCP Max barrel length is very similar, but if you look at the width, it's going to be a little bit thicker. The LCP Max has a better ergonomic setup than the Bodyguard does. But once again, the Bodyguard's a tad bit shorter. And then if you look at sights, once again, the sights go to the LCP Max. It's a phenomenal sight setup. A blacked out rear, ball in a bucket, textured with a tritium white outline up front. And this is the 75th anniversary edition. This gun, right now, $230. Always check the top comment. This gun right here typically is going to run you $400, and the Hellcat's going to be $450 to $550. Check out that. I feel like the LCP Max, better grip overall, better feel on the gun, not as good a trigger, even though I really like it. It's a great trigger still. For $230, you can't beat it. Here's the trigger on the LCP Max. It's a phenomenal trigger. It really is. I'm downplaying it a little bit. Also, Rugers have been known for rust in the pocket. As long as you take care of it, that's not going to happen. But also the stainless, if you get this version, which is $230, like I said, you're not going to be getting any rust. On top of that, they upgraded the trigger, and it's a really, really nice trigger on this version. Then you go to the Bodyguard. It has a phenomenal trigger too. It feels cheap to me though. It really does feel like a cheap trigger, but it's really nice. Reset. It's actually a really nice trigger, and that's why people shoot it really well as the ergonomics and still being thin. But for some reason, the LCP Max, I feel like it carries better in the pocket because you have it easier to grab onto, plus it's smaller, and it might be about the same size. But overall, it just is an easier gun to grab onto. I actually do have appendix holsters for this gun, and if you throw in the 12-round mag, it makes for a great appendix gun as well, just like the Bodyguard does. Then you have the Hellcat. The Hellcat kept the same trigger, but they lightened it up a little bit. It's a great trigger. It is going to be heavier than both triggers, though, with a longer reset. But you're getting Hellcat quality. You're getting reliability. Never going to have a single problem. Never going to have a single issue. And then you have the original LCP. It's much different simply because of width, size, and it is a true pocket pistol. Look at the weight here. So the Bodyguard is almost in a weird spot of its own where it's like not a true pocket pistol, but it can still be thrown in the pocket, yet it can still be appendix carried. So it all depends on what you want. Honestly, $230, $400, you can get two of these for $60 more than one of these. It's hard, you know what I mean? This, if you're going to appendix carry a 380, I would go with the Hellcat. This is going to eat every round possible. If you're looking for a gun that you can transition between the pocket and appendix easier, it would be between these two. They're all great guns. You can't beat any of them. They're absolutely flawless in my opinion. I like all three. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. There's the breakdown. Thanks for watching.